Good evening. Kiambu County Deputy Governor James Nyoro's swearing-in ceremony was called off by the judiciary over unavoidable circumstances. The Senate has, however, gazetted the impeachment and removal from office of Governor Ferdinand Ndungu Babayao Waititu shortly after passing a motion to that effect. Our political affairs reporter Jeff Kaimba spent the day in Kiambu County and has an update here on the program. The Primetime News also encompasses the coronavirus fears in the country, as the Ministry of Health awaits the lab test from South Africa as second opinion. The death toll in China has hit 170 as thousands remain holed up in the city of Wuhan, where the virus has started. And the Kenyan ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, has dispelled fears. Diana Rachel Mbugwa attended the presser by Cecily Karaoke and has an update equally here on the Primetime News. On News Compass tonight, as the crisis continued to deepen in the county of Kiambu, devolved units across the country continue to offer different cards on the devolved system of governance in the country. All, however, the common factor here underpinned by corruption and incompetence. But why has the excitement generated by the devolved system of governance, or devolution, ever since 2013 evaporated so very fast? My name is Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. Our sign anchor tonight is Joyce Wairimu. The date is the 30th of January 2020. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Welcome and thank you for joining us here on the program. The number is 40920 and the hashtag on Twitter is News Compass. We will make sense of the devolved system of governance in the country, and we'll ask the question why the excitement has evaporated so very fast amid allegations of incompetence, patronage, and of course corruption across the 47 counties across the country. But first, though, we head to Kiambu County, where the swearing-in ceremony of Kiambu County Acting Governor James Nyoro, Doctor, as Kiambu Governor, was aborted after presiding judge John Onyengo declined to show up. Justice Onyengo, in a media statement, faulted James Nyoro and his team for failure to follow the due legal process before the swearing-in ceremony is undertaken. Our political affairs reporter Jeff Kaimba spent the day in Kiambu County and has filed the following report.
As early as 8 a.m. at the county government of Kiambu, all was set for the swearing-in ceremony of James Nyoro as Kiambu County Governor after Ferdinand Waititu was impeached by the Senate over gross misconduct.
They repeat a lie so many times, and it ends up looking like it is the truth.
A seat for the dignitaries and the podium for the swearing-in ceremony was well decorated, ready for the new governor. After all was said, what remained was for Justice John Onyengo to make his way in to preside over the event. A second turned into minutes and hours with all eyes directed at the gate just to see Justice Onyengo. However, all this was futile.
Judge Onyengo was here at 8 o'clock and we went through the whole process, and we realized what are the provisions of the law insofar as swearing in a governor is concerned.
Justice Onyengo, who had been appointed by the Chief Justice David Maraga to conduct the swearing-in ceremony, failed to show up at the event after hours of waiting ostensibly over anticipated legal implications.
The function of swearing in the governor shall be between 10 a.m. and 2 o'clock. Since 10 o'clock, we have been in the chambers of the judge in Kiambu Court.
In what seemed to be a cat-and-mouse game, the leaders who had arrived here as early as 8 a.m. got furious and angry as to why Justice Onyengo failed to turn up. The Kiambu leaders stormed the streets marching to the court demanding an explanation from Justice Onyengo.
Article 38 of the Constitution. That is the rule of law. There is no violence, there is no disobedience. We have a right
Defiance and disobedience will not give us any.
Jaji wa mahakama akuje aswear in governor ambaye sasa ndiyo governor wa Kiambu, Dr. James Nyoro.
We want to know what is happening. We want to go to the judge's office and know what is happening. Because they have been telling us to wait at the county office. They are coming to do the swearing in since 9 a.m. And when we call them, they are saying they are coming, they are consulting. Who are they consulting? Are they consulting Senate? Senate made a decision last night.
After camping at the court for long, the dejected leaders returned to the county headquarters, waiting for any eventuality before the ceremony was called off.
Sasa ndio huyu nafikiria wako tayari. Watoke basi, watoke. Tufungue. Sawa kama.
Tumeaibika sana kama watu wa Kiambu. Tungependa kujulikana katika hii nchi yetu na katika hii ulimwengu wetu kama county ambayo inaleta maendeleo, county ambayo inaleta unity kwa watu.
Disappointed, Dr. James Nyoro followed the constitution of being behind the who surrounding his swearing-in ceremony.
Because it is 2:20. If we do it, it shall be an exercise in futility.
It says very clearly that Honorable Waitito ceased to be governor last night upon impeachment. The Constitution allows the deputy governor to step in and act as the county governor. The County Government Acts limits how much that governor can do, and that creates a lacuna.
Justice Onyego later on, in a media briefing, says the planned exercise was not in line with the requirements under the assumption of the office of the governor, Act No. 4 of the 2019. According to him, the county committee on assumption of the governor's office did not comply with the section 11(1) of the act, which requires publication and notification of the swearing-in ceremony in the Kenya Gazette and the County Gazette, stating the time, date and the place of the swearing-in ceremony. The judge further said section 11(2) of the Assumption of the Office of the Governor Act, which requires the governor to be sworn in on the first Thursday after the 10th day, following the declaration of the final results of the election of the county governor. A controversy now surrounds the swearing-in ceremony of Kiambu County acting governor James Nyoro, as there are no legal guidelines over how an acting governor can assume the office once a substantive governor is impeached from the office. Reporting for Ebru TV, I'm Jeff Haemba.
Thank you, Jeff. He has been all the day, spent the time in Kiambu County. And let's get the breakdown in terms of the governors who previously have taken the same path, the same long, winding route. And this is what we have on your screens in terms of the statistics and the breakdown. And it started all the way from Embu County. That was at some point the Governor Wambora impeachment attempts. The Governor Woos started in 2014. Embu County Assembly decided to impeach him, accusing him of embezzling more than 30 million Kenya shillings. And the governor was impeached by the County Assembly a record 4 times in 2014. On the 28th of January 2014, impeached by County Assembly of, that is Embu. 14th February 2014, impeached again by the Senate. And 16th of April 2014, the governor reinstated by the High Court. And April 2014, the governor is impeached again by the County Assembly of Embu. On to the next data, 13th May 2014, impeached again by the Senate. And February 2015, the High Court upholds the governor's impeachment. 11th of December 2015, the Court of Appeal nullifies decision to impeach Wambora. And December 2017, the Supreme Court barred lower courts from interfering with impeachment processes until they are done. We move to the next, and the decision arose from the appeal filed in the protracted Embu Governor Martin Wambora's impeachment of 2014. And the next item does equally detail all that has transpired ever since in the county of Embu. And the judges who sat at the Supreme Court where the matter was heard were Mohamed Ibrahim, Jackton Ojwang, Smokin Wanjala, Njoki Ndungu, Isaac Lenaola. And of course, we have another breakdown of what followed next. The Supreme Court decision was that no government agency should encumber another to stall the constitutional motions of the other. The best practices from the comparative lesson signal that the judicial organ must practice the greatest care in determining the merits of each case. And we finish up with this. The court, it continued, had the opportunity to consider the question of constitutional timelines. All indications from the stand of the superior courts as that expressly prescribed constitutional timeframes are binding on the governance model or structure in the country. Now we move ahead, and This is just a story fresh from the courts of law. It regards the Huduma number that happened in 2014, and Abdi just jetted into the newsroom. And a 3-judge bench has given the government the green light to implement the Huduma number platform, but at the same time barred the government from the collection of DNA and GPS location that was termed unconstitutional by the court. This is after the Nubian Rights Forum and the Kenya National Human Rights Commission sued the government over the platform aimed at digitizing and centralizing the vital records of citizens and foreigners in Kenya, saying Kenya lacks law or policy on data protection.
6 of the Kenya Information and Communication Act 1998, as amended by Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Act 28, number 18 of 2018, is unconstitutional, null and void. We also declare that the amendment to Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act, introducing Section 2A therein by Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Act number 18 of 2018, is unconstitutional, null and void. We also declare that the collection of DNA and GPS coordinates for purposes of identification is intrusive and unnecessary, and to the extent that it is not authorized and specifically anchored in empowering legislation, it is unconstitutional and a violation of Article 31 of the Constitution. Consequently, insofar as Section 51D and 51HA of the Registration of Persons Act requires the collection of DNA positioning and coordinates, the said subsections are in conflict to Article 31, and to that extent are unconstitutional, null and void. And we have also in this case also issued an order indicating that the respondents are at liberty to proceed with the implementation of means, but conditional on the enactment of an appropriate and comprehensive regulatory framework on the implementation of those means that is compliant with the applicable constitutional requirements identified in this judgment, and that such regulatory framework is first enacted before implementation. And we are directed that each party bears its own cost of the petition.
Thank you, Abdi. That's just a story that is fresh in the newsrooms. Now, frantic search is underway at the Doctors Park along Nairobi's 3rd Parklands Avenue following a bomb scare. Detectives from the Anti-Terror Police Unit have since cordoned off the building after a note was dropped at the vicinity stating that the establishment will be bombed anytime. Confirming the development, Nairobi Area Police Boss Philip Ndolo said the notice dropped near the building on Thursday prompted the search. Reports of terror attacks have surfaced numerously since the beginning of the year, with the National Police Service spokesperson Charles Owino dismissing a statement that went viral notifying Kenyans of an impending terror attack on 28 prime locations across the country. Now, 48 hours after a passenger from China was quarantined on suspicion of coronavirus, the government is yet to establish if the victim is infected by the virus or not. The victim continues to be in isolation at the Kenyatta National Hospital, with the results expected back in the country this evening from South Africa. The government says samples had to be sent to South Africa for a second opinion, which puts into question the readiness of the government or the country, despite mere word-of-mouth assurance from the government. Diana Rachel Mbugwa tells us more.
As Kenyans continue to be anxious about coronavirus hitting the country, the government, while exuding confidence that they are well prepared, says they are waiting for the way forward from the World Health Organization, which is currently holding a meeting in Geneva that will substantiate whether or not Kenya should evacuate its citizens currently living in China.
Coronavirus is exhibiting symptoms pretty much like any other fever, and therefore, for us to be certain, it's good to just do a second opinion, and that is what the results from South Africa will be confirming when we mirror them against our own results from our influenza center.
As compared to 14 countries that have evacuated its citizens from the affected areas in China, Kenya says it does not yet have the threshold yet, noting that the 14 countries had reported several deaths.
The WHO Emergency Committee will meet and say you need to respond globally in this way, and will therefore respond at that point in time. Right now, we are not allowed to behave in a manner which is outside of the guideline that they have already given us.
Further, the government has asked those who have traveled back in the country in the last 2 weeks to present themselves at health facilities while issuing a travel advisory to those planning to leave the country.
We have systems that are working, we have teams that are prepared and ready, and indeed we are also calling on you, the Kenyans, to be able to be more sensitive. If you have traveled to China in the last 2 weeks, the incubation period of this condition is 2 weeks. Present yourself. It costs you nothing other than just being sure.
The death toll as at today in China rose to 170 as the Chinese government continues to contain the situation. While inaugurating the new medical council, Health CS meanwhile asked the new membership to investigate the high charges in private hospitals compared to public hospitals. Nairobi Women's Hospital has in the recent past been out on the spotlight over the unexplainable high charges. The chairperson of the new medical council has assured thorough investigations into the matter. Diana Rachel Mbogwa, Ibru TV.
Thank you, Diana. It equally is a global concern as authorities rush to ensure that measures are in place to contain the spread of the virus in the city of Wuhan in Hubei province in China. So far, thousands are holed up, including university students in China. And this remains a concern for both the Chinese authorities and the United Nations that has recently sent in awe as China requested the experts from the World Health Organization of the United Nations to contain the coronavirus spread. As the death now toll hits 170, more than 6,000 people have equally been affected, and this continues to be a concern with regards to, of course, the virus that continues to spread in the country. And here in the country, the government is equally concerned, and the ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, has said there's no need for worry, and at the right time will evacuate the Kenyan students and nationals equally in that part of China, even as the British Airways and equally European airlines have cancelled all flights scheduled for Beijing in China until the matter is contained, as per the authorities' statements from London. Now, we take a break here on the program. When we come back, we equally have a story about the Kenya Bureau of Standards on the maize brands that are of concern with regards to aflatoxin levels and why the agency says they are unfit for human consumption. The number is 40920 and the hashtag on Twitter is News Compass. Stay tuned. We are coming back with more stories after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the Primetime News, and we delve deeper into the program. The Kenya Bureau of Standards has called on supermarkets to pull out 17 maize brands for having high aflatoxin levels than required. In a statement this Thursday, the agency said the maize brands are unsafe for human consumption.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards has ordered the withdrawal of brands of maize meal from the market, including Dola and Tetema. This is due to high aflatoxin levels, which make them unsafe for human consumption. KEBS has ordered immediate withdrawal of the maize meal brands from retail outlets, warning that failure to do so could lead to legal action. The brands include Jomba, Afya, Uzima, Sungura, Dola, Tetema, African King, Unique, Mlo, Citicon, Sarafina, Tosha, Shiba, Hakika Best, Budget, and Wema. This is not the first time that Dola has been withdrawn from the market. Dola and Kifaru maize flours were among the 5 suspended KEBS on November 9, 2019. Permits for the companies that produce the 2 brands were also suspended alongside Starehe, 210, and Jembe. At the time, KEBS has said the suspension followed market surveillance and multiple complaints from the public. However, 11 days later, KEBS lifted the suspension for Dola and Kifaru, saying manufacturers had met approved quality standards. Njeri Njogo for Ayub TV.
Now, the Third Way Alliance Party of Kenya of Dr. Ikuro Court Secretary General Frederick Okango has rubbished the suspension from party, or his suspension from the party, a move he alleges that was from a section of leaders from the Third Way Alliance Party. He cites malice in the suspension that he says did not follow the procedures laid down by the party constitution.
This was earlier today the just suspended Third Way Alliance Secretary General Frederick Okango trying to defend his position in the party.
We have no problem at all with the leadership of Third Way. No. The problem that we have is the decision-making process. That decision they made is null and void, and very soon they'll be receiving letters.
Frederick Okango, following his suspension by the party, in a statement was suspended following his position to have the party's Punguza Mizigo initiative merged with BBI. However, on Okango's part, the suspension did not follow the due process and is rather unnecessary.
We have not received the letter. We have not seen it. We have seen it like any other person on social media, and therefore we don't know much about it. They were calling everyone to come for the meeting. They failed to get quorum. The quorum must be at least a third of the 13 members of NEC. There were only 3 of them, and therefore that letter is null and void.
Okango further cited intimidation of members by a section of members who serve for their individual interest.
There are 3 people who think they can make a decision on behalf of the party or on behalf of Kenyans or on behalf of the party supporters. That is not right. It is a breach of rules of social justice. There was no complaint. Who complained that SG made remarks on one of the popular TV stations that BBI should merge with Punguza Mizigo? There was no complaint.
In the alleged statement that led to Okango's suspension, Okango supported BBI proposal that are opposed by Okot, the proponent of the Punguza Mizigo bill that failed at the country level. He further called for the latter's policies to be merged by those of BBI to ease the traffic of confusing the common mwananchi by running 2 parallel constitutional amendment processes. Millie Kisenya for Ebro TV.
Now, Education CS Dr. George Magoha wants the row over the University of Nairobi Vice Chancellor's post subjected to a month of negotiations. The CS made the application Thursday before Justice Maureen Onyango of the Employment and the Labour Relations Court. The application was made through his lawyer, Mahat Somane. The education boss has resorted for negotiations as it is the only fair way for all parties to avoid the many intervening applications. The case will be determined by the Employment and the Labour Relations Court as it continues to affect equally the highest learning institution in the country. Now, maize farming in Kenya has been surrounded by controversy, with farmers and the state engaging in constant fights over the low prices of the commodity. While this pull and push has forced many farmers across the country, and especially in Elgeyo Marakwet County, to turn to passion fruit farming, saying they are reaping more profit 100 times fold compared to the maize farming across the country. Winnie Lubembe has that report.
Farming is the backbone of the country, and Christopher Cheboiboich understands this too well, given the returns farming can bring. Following his retirement from politics in 2017, serving in Emso Ward, Christopher ventured into passion fruit farming. In his 1 1/4 piece of land, Christopher prides himself in at least 900 passion fruit trees he has, saying he hopes to get 400 kilos after every week.
Mahali nilileta seedlings haikuwa mahali moja. Na kuna zingine nilileta ilikuwa na ugonjwa, nikapanda, nikaharibika, nikareplace, ndio unaona kwa shamba yangu kuna ingine ndogo na kuna kubwa.
Despite this venture being profitable, it requires a lot of skill. From planting the seedlings to harvesting, Christopher uses more than 67,000 shillings for fertilizer and disease control pesticides.
Kwa dawa peke yake kwa hii shamba, kwa kila wiki mimi natumia pesa ya 1,100. Ukichumulisha kwa mwezi moja, nitakuwa nimetumia 4,400.
For Christopher and other farmers, dealing with middlemen has been a thorn in the flesh as they buy their produce at a very low price, subjecting farmers to losses.
Hali tu na ningependa kuomba wakulima hasa kwa Keyenot. Sahi kilo moja wanauza na pesa iko chini, shilingi 50 pa kilo ama 60 kwa kilo. Ningeomba wakulima wote to form association ambaye sisi wenyewe tutakuwa tukicontrol market. na wala wanakuja middlemen, shauri tunasikia wanachukua hii mpaka Uganda. Sisi wenyewe kama wakulima tumeketi, tumeongea na tuna register association yetu, ndio wale wanakuja tu kuchukua passion kwa mali moja, na tutakuwa tukicontrol market ya hizi vitu.
He urges the Agriculture Ministry to engage directly with farmers and hear their views. Winnie Lubembe for Ebru TV.
Now, low-cost carrier Jambojet has introduced a new product that allows group bookings targeting senior citizens, students, chama groups, and among other segments across the country. Take a look at this business story by Musa Amir.
Dubbed Shukrani, the platform enables group bookings of 15 passengers and above with tailor-made services for the groups. Management on Thursday said the move is part of the carrier's commitment to enrich its product offering and enable more people to fly. And I quote, "We have seen an increased interest in special requests from groups and a need to offer tailor-made products for this customer's segment. We are keen to continue coming up with innovative products to address our customers' needs." End quote. To launch the product, Jambojet, in partnership with Sarovo Whitesons, flew a group of 16 women aged between 45 and 68 years from Ngonde PCEA Church in Kiganjo, Nyeri County. It was their first time flying after they were nominated in an online competition carried out by Jambojet between October 15th and 20th last year. Since inception in 2014, Jambojet, which was awarded the coveted IATA Operational Safety Audit certification in July 2019, has flown over 3 million passengers, 30% of whom are first-time flyers. The airline flies to 5 local destinations, Mombasa, Eldoret, Kisumu, Ukunda, and recently launched flights to Kigali, Rwanda in November, making it their second regional destination after Entebbe, Uganda. For Business Insight, I'm Musa Amir.
And there we are, here we go. Let's get the sports update, and after this short break here on the Primetime News. Now, the death of American basketball great Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter in Calabasas in California, the United States of America, helicopter crash on January 26th has sent shockwaves throughout the world, especially in Africa, where many look up to him. The Voice of America, our partner station, spoke with fans in Kenya and a basketball official in Ivory Coast about the NBA star's sudden death. Salim Solomon has this update.
Although Kobe Bryant made his name playing basketball in America, where he spent his career playing for the NBA team Los Angeles Lakers, he was a global icon. And the impact of Bryant's death in a helicopter crash in Los Angeles County on Sunday reverberated around the world, especially in Africa, where Bryant helped grow basketball's popularity.
He is a legend in our sport. His kindness and openness were also well known among us in African basketball. It is difficult for all of us. On behalf of myself and African basketball, I want to express my deepest condolences to his family, to U.S. basketball and world basketball. For us Africans, we can say a legend is gone, a major loss.
And although he was celebrated as a 5-time NBA champion and 18-time NBA All-Star, some remember Bryant's relationship with his daughter.
After he retired, he didn't come to many NBA games. His daughter, Gigi, was the one who tried to kind of bring him back to start watching the game. I remember this interview I had done with, its name is Jimmy Kimmel. So, you know, there are these fans trying to ask him, "Yo, Kobe, why don't you and Vanessa try and have a boy so that he can carry out the legacy?" And then his daughter was like, "Yo, I got this. She was just 13 years old, but actually she was the one following the footsteps of the dad.
Bryant was a basketball icon among young people in Africa, where the sport's popularity has soared over the past 2 decades. In 2010, while attending the FIFA World Cup in South Africa, Bryant visited the township Soweto. There, he spoke with young people about his love for soccer and how sports can help lift athletes out of poverty. The impact of his death runs deep for fans and players.
With Kobe, it actually felt like I've lost a family member, because the reason why I picked up a basketball in the first place was because of Kobe.
He had his own team, and he was was making changes in this world. So having someone like him die, it's really bad and tragic. But death doesn't choose anyone. And so we celebrate the little things he did for us and be happy as far as we've come with him, right?
For some, accepting Brian's loss will take more time. With Amos Wangawa and Nicolas Pinot, Salem Solomon, VOA News.
Thank you, Davis. And equally a victim of the night, Manchester United fans, well, the Red Devils they saw red rather. That was at the Etihad, where they played just the divide of the city at the city of Manchester Stadium in the city of Manchester. Of course, it was the Manchester Derby. And Kevin Friend, red card in there, Nemanja Matic and Manchester United have been knocked out courtesy of that 3-all aggregate following City's 3-1 win at Old Trafford in the other fixture. We end the program though, and coming up next is News Compass. We'll be talking about the devolved system of governance that is rather disappointing because Kenyans ought to get services, but the scorecard so far offered by the devolved units across the 47 counties is tainted and all underpinned by corruption, incompetence and patronage. The idea was to devolve power from Nairobi, not to micromanage affairs of the county governments, but politics is equally at the center stage and the pivotal point of what equally transpired in the Senate when it impeached or upheld the impeachment of Governor Ferdinand Ndungu Babayawa Etitu, who was impeached by the County Assembly of Kiambu on the 19th of December 2019. I'll be talking to Kipchumba Karori, who equally was a lawyer who represented the governor who has been impeached, and Ben Mulua, political strategist, and equally analyzes governance issues in the country. And the hashtag on Twitter is News Compass, and that discussion is coming up next here on the program. Stay tuned.